Hey, what's up? It's Primetime Football, and today I'm going to be talking about the college football playoff rankings. Obviously, they came out, the top four, playoffs are in now. But before I begin, I just want to ask you if you can subscribe to the channel. It's free. All you have to do is press a button. It'll help out a lot so I can keep on making videos. So, thank you. Now on to the video. The top four. We got Alabama at 1, Clemson at 2, Ohio State at 3, and Notre Dame at 4. I think number 1 and 2 are pretty obvious. Alabama deserves a 1 spot. They're undefeated SEC champion. And Clemson is a 1-loss ACC champion. They definitely deserve the 2 spot. Now, Ohio State at 3. There are a lot of people saying they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, including Dabo Swinney, who had them ranked at 11 in the coaches poll. He's pretty upset about them being in the playoffs, obviously. But I can see the case for them making the playoffs and for them being left out. On one hand, they only played 6 games. And the problem with playing 6 games is that by not playing any more than 6, you kind of eliminate any potential for getting upset. But on the other hand, we're supposed to put in the top 4 teams, and they're probably one of them. So, in my opinion, I sort of lean towards the fact that, yeah, they should be in the playoffs. Notre Dame at 4, this was sort of the most controversial thing. It was down to them and Texas A&M. For Notre Dame's case, they had beaten everyone on their schedule. What I mean by that is that they lost to Clemson, but they had beaten that team as well earlier in the season. So everybody that was on their schedule, they beat, including the number 1 team in the country at the time. For Texas A&M, they had won their last 7 games, including a win over a full-strength Florida team. And I also think that the fact that their loss was in the second week of the year, in a COVID year, and Alabama with Jalen Waddle, it should be valued. Because if you watch Texas A&M, you can just easily tell how much they've improved on both sides of the ball since then. I mean, first week, they lost to Vanderbilt. I mean, they didn't lose. They beat Vanderbilt by like 5 points. Next week, they get blown out by 28 to Alabama. The week after that, they come out and beat Florida. And since then, I mean, they haven't really played any close games. They've looked really good. Offense and defense have improved much. I mean, they've improved so much since then. In my opinion, probably Texas A&M should have made it because Notre Dame just got beat by 30 points. I mean, Texas A&M hasn't even lost in 3 months. So why are you going to put a team in the playoffs if they just lost by 30? A&M hasn't lost in 3 months, so you got to give them a chance now. There's also a lot of talk about how the same teams are making the playoffs every year, which is true. You know, you got Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. Notre Dame's made it twice now. Then you'll make Oklahoma makes it a lot. Then you'll mix in LSU or Georgia, Washington once. But all I have to say to people who are complaining about that is, so what? I mean, they're supposed to put the 4 best teams in the playoff. If those are the 4 best teams, then they belong in the playoff. Like, that's just how it should be. I'm completely opposed to the mentality that I see so much, which is just give them a shot. That team's going to get killed anyway. Give Cincinnati a shot. Notre Dame's going to get killed anyway. I mean, for Cincinnati's case, I think it's pretty clear that they aren't a top 4 team. So why should we put them in over Notre Dame or Texas A&M? Why don't we give Texas A&M and Notre Dame a shot and not a team who just beat Tulsa by 4 points? If Texas A&M or Notre Dame did that, you know people would be calling for heads. Now, one more thing before I wrap the video up. Playoff expansion. I'm okay, personally, with a playoff expansion, but there's 2 things I don't think should happen. One of them is automatic bids. I think it's a horrible idea. All it does is leads to the top 6 or 8 or however many teams are in the playoffs. It just leads to it not actually being the top 6 or 8 teams. You know, because if you have a 3-loss Washington Pac-12 champ, okay, they're not a top 8 team. We all know that. Why are they in the playoffs? Automatic bids. If we have, I know this year we don't. We have an undefeated Cincinnati, but most years, we had UCF that 1 year too, but most years you're not going to have an undefeated or even 1-loss sort of group of 5 leader. So why are we going to have a 2-loss Boise State in the playoffs? That's just stupid. And another thing, it can't be bigger than 8 teams. I think this one's pretty simple. Anything bigger than 8 will completely ruin the regular season of college football, which in my opinion has the most exciting regular season of all of sports, because of each game matters so much. If a top team like Alabama loses a game, if they slip up one time, it's detrimental to their season. Versus in like NFL, if they lose a game, it's whatever. They can still make the playoffs easily. So if we make it 8, anything bigger than 8, like 16, it'll completely ruin the regular season, because a loss, whatever, you're still going to make the playoffs. 2 losses, you're still going to make the playoffs. And it'll just ruin the sport. So anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts on the playoff. Thank you.